When you're in pre-algebra or algebra 1, you learn that you could solve for a variable if you have an equation. And then you're in algebra 2, you learn that you could solve for two variables if you've got two equations. Well, what do you do if you've got too many variables with one equation? There's actually three different types of questions on SAT where you'll see that situation. Today we're going to see one of them, which is a quadratic. My name is Paul Basolka, IB Masters Learning Center and IBMasters.com. And today we're going to look at Test 6, Section 3, number 4, which reads, in the equation above, p and t are constants. Which of the following could be the value of p? So it's asking you for p. P and t being constants, you would solve them algebraically the same exact way as you would solve them if they were variables. Constant just means they don't change, and y equals mx plus b. Slope is constant, so m is constant. It does not change no matter where you are on the line. B is constant, there's one y-intercept. No matter where you are on that line, the y-intercept is just what the y-intercept is. X and y, though, notice they vary as you go up and down the line. So they're called variables. Anyhow, so what do you do when you've got one equation but you've got three variables? What you've got to do is you've got to get the sides of the equation to look alike. And there's actually two different ways to do this one like that. You can either factor or you can FOIL. We're going to look at both ways. First thing, we're going to FOIL. So what we've got is we've got 4x squared minus 9 equals, and then if you multiply the two first terms, you're going to get p squared x squared. And then if you multiply the middle terms, you're going to get minus plus ptx. Outsides, you're going to get minus ptx. And then your last terms, you're going to get minus t squared. Okay. And what happens then? So we still have our 4x squared minus 9. And you've got your p squared x squared. And notice the middle's canceled. Plus ptx minus ptx. If you're well versed with difference of squares, you don't even have to write those middle terms at all. And you get minus t squared. Now, you got to see what corresponds. Well, you always multiply the first two terms to get the first term, plus what corresponds with anything that's attached to x squared is whatever else is attached to x squared. So, you could just set 4x squared equal to p squared x squared. And if you divide both sides by x squared, the x squareds cancel. You see that p squared equals 4, and taking the square root of both sides, you'd get p equals 2. A is your answer. And if you did the same thing for your t, you would find that the t is 3. It's not asking for t. Now we're going to look at the other approach, which would be to factor these two. Either way, notice you're getting them to look alike. Most students, when they look at this first term, they don't notice that it is difference of squares and that you are able to factor. How do we know it's difference of squares? Well, 4x squared is a perfect square. 9 is a perfect square. It's separated by subtraction. So what you always can factor that as is square root of the first, which is 2x, goes here and here. Your signs are plus minus. Square root of the second, square root of 9 is 3. And then you can set that equal to px plus t and px minus t. And then once again, you can see that the p's correspond with your 2 and the t's correspond with your 3. So once again, your answer is 2. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has trouble factoring when there are too many variables in an equation. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. And click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.